Hello, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and pull some cards and see what's going on with this twin flame dynamic. Goodness, there's lots of changes and shifting that's been happening, but there is a lot of these connections that are getting ready to come in to play. Oh my goodness, a lot of stuff in the etheric, a lot of the energetic connection is already really popped off. And so we're going to go ahead and find out what is going on with this. So if you guys are watching this right now, there must be a reason you need to see this. There must be something in this message that it found you. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and pull a couple cards and see what Spirit has to say about these twin flame dynamics and what's going on with these partnerships. Okay, first one up, very interesting. Got the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Now this is a very interesting card because usually when it's like this, it's talking about someone who feels it's been left out in the cold. So if you guys have been in some type of separation, which by the way, guess what? Most of the connections have been in some type of separation since last year, if not longer. So the fact that it is in reverse, though, is talking about that kind of energy is getting ready to leave. Feeling like there is not like you're left out in the cold. There's a separation. There's no conversation happening. There's energy pinging back and forth, but there hasn't been any conversation. So this is talking about that this is starting to open up the possibility for connection to come through. And it may start as something as simple as you're starting to dream about them, starting to hear songs that remind you of them. Maybe you're hearing their name being spoken, even though it's not them directly, but it's somebody saying the same name outside, right? Maybe their name is Eddie, and you heard somebody as you walk by in the grocery store say, "Hey Eddie, how you doing?" That kind of serendipity, that kind of alignment with energy seems to be something that's popping off right now. So we're going to go ahead and just pull a couple more cards, see what else is. Oh, the moon. We just had a big full moon. Look at this, out there howling at the moon. I think a lot of us are finding that this stir up has happened. This desire to reconnect has really happened. Yep, and this one, listen to this one. It talks about intuition, shadow, and dreams. It's interesting because a lot of times the etheric is where this starts happening. So you may start noticing maybe you're having very vivid dreams, but you can't fully remember them, but you feel that you have. Maybe you've been feeling that some of these memories or dreams included them, but you just don't have any of the details. But the energy is there. Like you wake up and it's almost frustrating because you can't fully remember what it was that you were dreaming about, but you know it had something to do with this connection. So a lot of that is really starting to wake up again, okay? So let's go ahead and see what else pops up with this. And it's interesting too because yeah, you'll feel, and there's a big difference when it feels, because when you wake up in the morning, you're almost going to feel like you're putting on like a skin onesie again. You know, you're going to feel like you've been physically out of your body. That's part of what this is. A lot of times we're having dreams where our higher selves are connecting and having conversation when we haven't started doing that in the physical, and it starts in the energetic. So the mother star comes up. I love this card. She's got a cup, which is emotions, and the sword, which is direction. This is talking about, and it's in the upright position, like I said, both sides of this party are feeling the energetic ping going back and forth, the desire to maybe reach out, message, text message. I mean, there's a good chance there's a lot of this, let me type an email out, then delete it. Type an email out, delete it. Type a text out, delete it. There is a lot of that kind of energy happening right now. And I feel that that's what this is talking about, that the etheric has really been starting to open up, like I said, and that's the energetic connection. That's the connection that's been there through lifetimes for you guys, okay? Lifetimes. It's been there for lifetimes with you guys. Okay, this is awesome. I'm going to start doing these little 10-minute things. If you're finding that a little quickie reading like this is awesome to tap into the energy, go down in the comments for this and tell me that these 10-minute little quickie readings are something you want to see every day, because this is something fun. I might want to do this. So Six of Wands is up next in reverse. The Six of Wands is a very interesting one too, because it talks about victory and triumph and finally getting to where you want to be. Look at the little crown on that owl's head, and owls symbolize wisdom. This feels like both of you individually have been doing work, centering work, figuring out what you want more as a person separately, not just in the connection. Because see, this is the thing that people don't realize with these connections, okay? The purpose of a soul-to-soul connection, especially one that runs through lifetimes, is first and foremost for the person individually to learn to love and nurture self and then be able to share deeply with another. There's a big point in that because a lot of people just leapfrog right over the learning to love and nurture self first, and they just jump right over that and go right into, I want to love and nurture somebody else. The problem is that's what puts you in a soul deficit. And it's one of those things that people don't realize because it's such a desire. We want to be able to love others. We love others. I want you to listen to this. We love others the way we wish to be loved. I want you to listen to that again. We love others the way we wish to be loved ourselves. So when we understand how our love works, how we express ourselves, are we very physical? Are we very emotional? Are we very verbally expressive? So the more we're able to nurture ourselves and start expressing and treating ourselves with that same energy, we become a vibrational match for what we want to have in our lives. Because it's not about how we portray things moving forward. It's about the energy resonance that happens here. The relationship we have with ourselves is the most important relationship we're ever going to have. And if it's something you want to dive a little bit more into, guess what? I've got something for you. So right now, today at least, there is a link in my profile. I wrote 2 books. So I've been an intuitive reader for 35 years now. I have been doing readings this whole time. The majority of those readings have been about soul-to-soul connections. So one of the things I did over all these years of doing these workshops, I decided to make it super easy. You don't have to schedule a workshop, just grab a book. The first book that came out last year is called Soul Hangry. That is one where it talks about putting ourselves into a soul deficit where we overgive, overlove, overdo all of those things. Remember, jump right over learning to love and nurture self. That book teaches you how to rebuild and strengthen the relationship with soul self. The second book that just came out that is coming with that one is called Soul Connections. That's the book where I break down all the details of soulmates, twin flames, what are the myths, what are the truth of this? Because it is not a simple case of a list of 10 or 20 different things that says how to tell if you're in a twin flame connection. Well, I'll tell you, the problem why that's been so confusing for you if you feel that you've been into one of these types of connections is simply because they put all of those relationship dynamics in one list. The thing is, and I'll tell you this, and we can deep dive later into this, but a twin flame connection or a soulmate, a soul-to-soul connection, which is 2 souls who have a connection in this lifetime and several other lifetimes before this, there is 2 different parts to that connection. The first part is a core element. It's either going to be one of the 3. One of them is a deep soul friendship connection. That's one that isn't a romantic connection. And those are the ones that when you meet, you become the instant best friends. Yes, that's one of the core elements. Another core element is a romantic only one. That's the one that usually people call a karmic twin. There's no such thing as a karmic twin. That's the one that there is no balance. There is no friendship balance, just the romantic. So there's lots of spice, lots of fire, lots of chemistry, but nothing to temper it. The third one is what people usually refer to when they are talking about a soulmate. That is the hybrid. That is the one where there is a balance of past lives where you've been the best of friends and a balance of past lives where you have been romantic. But many people I'm finding in my readings are turning out to have a really high level of romantic connections and very little of the friendship. So this lifetime has been about building the friendship with self and then being able to have that with another. Now, that's the first part of the equation. The second part, guess what? There is 12 separate relationship dynamics. Every one of them is separate. Every one of them is different, and every one of them has a specific path, purpose, and process. Once you find out what yours is for that connection, guess what? You have a custom equation that tells you exactly what you need to do. You don't even have to be in that connection to go ahead and be able to heal and nurture yourself from that. So if this is something you're interested in, pop up to my profile. There's a link in there that right now both of those books are ebooks and they're in a little bundle. So for the same price you'd pay for one book, you're going to get 2 and it's an instant download. There's a link in my profile, so head on up and grab it. And if you have any questions, post them below or show up at one of my lives and ask away. I'm here to help. Take care.